chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. On a mission to snatch my people straight up out that fire. On a mission to snatch the lamb out the mouth of a lion. If you notice he ain't in the fold, leave the 99. Just say that brother or sister somehow we left behind. Should I leave the 99 sheep to go back for the one? I mean that's still 99 and that's more than some. Yeshua came for the lost sheep, let's get him young. He might be seeking a change like the prodigal son. Wise as a serpent, homeless as doves, that's how we played. Blocking these fiery arrows, strap on my shoulder faith. Many are called, few are chosen, what the scriptures say. Jeremiah 31:21, the ship's on the way, crossing the Jordan, still waters, we want no trouble that day. Matthew 7:13, enter through the straight gates. Broad is the path of destruction, but narrow is the way. Jeremiah 31, for the new covenant we shall wait. Hebrews 8, yeah, Hebrews 8, for the new covenant we shall wait. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Elohim. Praise Yah. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father.
Started from the bottom, now we heal. You already know what it is. Giving praise to the God of Israel. The truth has been revealed, even though a lot of man said live the whole world. They been deceived for real. Read Revelation chapter 12. Time will tell who will prevail 400 year captivity. But we coming out of here. Prophecy been fulfilled. Gotta live righteously. Yeah, we'll see who is real and who will be out. Cause of fear, cause of doubt. Who will hear and believe our report. Time to resort back to the source. Yeah, the mighty one through the sun. Fight a run, we gon' fight. If it is will Ephesians 6:12. Yeah, we battle where the evil dwell. Hell is just a grace. So yeah, you know we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Who shall we feel? Come on. Cause salvation is near, even though it's a war going on. Gotta keep marching on. This is for my pills. Either have the ill heal. It's time to go home, for real.
Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. On a mission to snatch my people straight up out that fire. On a mission to snatch the lamb out the mouth of a lion. If you notice he ain't in the fold, leave the 99. Just say that brother or sister somehow we left behind. Should I leave the 99 sheep to go back for the one? I mean that's still 99 and that's more than some. Yeshua came for the lost sheep, let's get him young. He might be seeking a change like the prodigal son. Wise as a serpent, homeless as doves, that's how we played. Blocking these fiery arrows, strap on my shoulder faith. Many are called, few are chosen, what the scriptures say. Jeremiah 31:21, the ship's on the way, crossing the Jordan, still waters, we want no trouble that day. Matthew 7:13, enter through the straight gates. Broad is the path of destruction, but narrow is the way. Jeremiah 31, for the new covenant we shall wait. Hebrews 8, yeah, Hebrews 8, for the new covenant we shall wait. All praise to the Most High Yahweh Elohim. Praise Yah. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father.
Started from the bottom, now we heal. You already know what it is. Giving praise to the God of Israel. The truth has been revealed, even though a lot of men should live. The whole world has been deceived for real. Read Revelation chapter 12. Time will tell who will prepare 400 year captivity. But we coming out of here. Prophecy been fulfilled. Gotta live righteously. Yeah, we'll see who is real and who will be out. Cause of fear, cause of doubt. Who will hear and believe our report. Time to resort back to the sword. Yeah, the mighty one through the sun. Fight a run, we gon' fight. If it is real, Ephesians 6 and 12. Yeah, we battle where the evil dwell. Hell is just a grace. So yeah, you know we walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Who shall we feel? Come on. Cause salvation is near, even though it's a war going on. Gotta keep marching on. This is for my pills. Either have the ill heal. It's time to go home.
For real. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. It's too late now. All praise to Yahweh, the Most High, our Elohim. Yeah. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that reach the Father. Yahweh chose us from the bottom. Yeah, we ran to a couple of problems, but Yahweh still got us. You got a problem, he can solve it. We keep the commandments. We teach our sons and teach our daughters. We pray through Yeshua, the only way that
On a mission to snatch my people straight up out that fire. On a mission to snatch the lamb out the mouth of a lion. If you notice he ain't in the fold, leave the 99. Just say that brother or sister somehow we left behind. Should I leave the 99 sheep to go back for the one? I mean that's still 99 and that's more than some. Yeshua came for the lost sheep, let's get him young. He might be seeking a change like the prodigal son. Wise as a serpent, homeless as dove, that's how we played. Blocking these fiery arrows, strap on my shoulder faith. Many are called, few are chosen with the
Shalom Facebook, Shalom YouTube. Welcome to our history class. Tonight we're in the book of Exodus, chapter 17. But before we get started, does anyone have any questions? Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get started. This is Exodus chapter 17, verse 1. And all the congregation of the children of Israel journeyed from the wilderness of Sin after their journeys, according to the commandment of Yahweh, and pitched in Rephidim, and there was no water for the people to drink. Wherefore the people did chide with Moshe, and said, Give us water that we may drink. And Moshe said unto them, Why chide you with me? Wherefore do you tempt Yahweh? And the people thirsted there for water. And the people murmured against Moshe, and said, Wherefore is this that thou hast brought us up out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our cattle with thirst? And Moshe cried unto Yahweh, saying, What shall I do unto this people? They be almost ready to stone me. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Go on before the people, and take with thee of the elders of Israel, and thy rod, wherewith thou smotest the river, take in thine hand, and go. Behold, I will stand before thee there upon the rock in Horeb, and thou shalt smite the rock, and there shall come water out of it, that the people may drink. And Moshe did so in the sight of the elders of Israel. And he called the name of the place Massah and Meribah, because of the chiding of the children of Israel, and because they tempted Yahweh, saying, Is Yahweh among us or not? Then came Amalek, and fought with Israel in Rephidim. And Moshe said unto Joshua, Choose us out men, and go out, fight with Amalek. Tomorrow I will stand on the top of the hill with the rod of Elohim in mine hand. So Joshua did as Moshe had said to him, and fought with Amalek. And Moshe, Aaron, and Hur went up to the top of the hill. And it came to pass when Moshe held up his hand that Israel prevailed. And when he let down his hand, Amalek prevailed. The Moshe's hands were heavy, and they took a stone and put it under him. And he sat thereon, and Aaron and Hur stayed up his hands, the one on one side and the other on the other side. And his hands were steady unto the going down of the sun. And Joshua discomfited Amalek and his people with the edge of the sword. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, write this for a memorial in a book, and rehearse it in the ears of Joshua, for I will utterly put out the remembrance of Amalek from under heaven. And Moshe built an altar, and called the name of it, Yahweh is my banner. For he said, because Yahweh has sworn that Yahweh will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. So you know who Amalek is, right? Okay. Exodus 18, verse 1. When Jethro, the priest of Midian, Moshe's father-in-law, heard of all that Elohim had done for Moshe and for Israel, his people, and that Yahweh had brought Israel out of Egypt, then Jethro, Moshe's father-in-law, took Zipporah, Moshe's wife, after he had sent her back, and her two sons, of which the name of the one was Gershom, for he said, I have been an alien in a strange land. And the name of the other was Eleazar, for the Elohim of my father said, he was mine help, and delivered me from the sword of Pharaoh. And Jethro, Moshe's father-in-law, came with his sons and his wife unto Moshe into the wilderness, where he encamped at the mount of Elohim. And he said unto Moshe, I, thy father-in-law, Jethro, am come unto thee, and thy wife and her son and her two sons with her. And Moshe went out to meet his father-in-law, and did obeisance, and kissed him, and they asked each other of their welfare, and they came into the tent. And Moshe told his father-in-law all that Yahweh had done unto Pharaoh and to the Egyptians for Israel's sake, and all the travail that had come upon them by the way, and how Yahweh delivered them. And Jethro rejoiced for all the goodness which Yahweh had done to Israel, whom he had delivered out of the hand of the Egyptians. And Jethro said, Blessed be Yahweh, who hath delivered you out of the hand of the Egyptians, and out of the hand of Pharaoh, who hath delivered the people from under the hand of the Egyptians. Now I know that Yahweh is greater than all gods, but in the thing wherein they dealt proudly, he was above them. And Jethro, Moshe's father-in-law, took a burnt offering and sacrifices for Elohim. And Aaron came and all the elders of Israel to eat bread with Moshe's father-in-law before Elohim. And it came to pass on the morrow that Moshe sat to judge the people, and the people stood by Moshe from morning unto the evening. And when Moshe's father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, What is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from morning unto even? And Moshe said unto his father-in-law, Because the people come unto me to inquire of Elohim. And when they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of Elohim and his laws. And Moshe's father-in-law said unto him, The thing that thou doest is not good. Thou wilt surely wear away, both thou and this people that is with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and Elohim shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to Elohim word, that thou mayest bring the causes unto Elohim, and thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and the work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear Elohim, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands, and rulers of hundreds, and rulers of fifties, and rulers of 10, and let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. If thou shalt do this thing, and Elohim command thee so, then thou shalt be able to endure, and all this people shall also go to their place in peace. So Moshe hearkened to the voice of his father-in-law, and did all that he had said. And Moshe chose able men out of all Israel, and made them heads over the people, rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of 10s. And they judged the people at all seasons. The hard causes they brought unto Moshe, but every small matter they judged themselves. And Moshe let his father-in-law depart, and he went his way into his own land. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim, and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, that Israel camped before the mount. And Moshe went up unto Elohim, and Yahweh called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, You have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. And Moshe came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before them their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, All that Yahweh hath spoken, we will do. And Moshe returned the words of the people unto Yahweh. Now that's a proposal. But look what he says. This is covered. It says in verse 5, Now therefore, if you obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then you shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people. For all the earth is mine. We had the opportunity to be above all people. Now, this is the covenant. The covenant is the 10 Commandments. But if you remember, he made covenants with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob to give them the land of Canaan. But in this covenant here, as we notice, this covenant is conditional. It was unconditional with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, but this covenant here is conditional. In order for them to be under covenant with Yahweh, they had to keep his commandments and do what he tell them to do. And he will make them a holy nation and a royal priesthood. In that, he still got to do that. Because our fathers agreed to it, but they didn't reach that level of priesthood, did they? No, so they weren't a kingdom of priests and a holy nation at the time that the first time they broke the commandments, Yahweh saw what kind of people they had. But according to the prophecy, we're going to be that nation of priests. The world's going to know that we are the priests of Yahweh, the holy men, according to Isaiah and according to the book of Revelation. That will come to pass. So it never even occurred to black people that they would be priests. They've always been Christians, and so they couldn't see anything above a Christian, unless you're a preacher or a pastor. But that doesn't match up with this. A holy nation and a royal priesthood above all people of the earth. Now, how come nobody else saw this? You see what I mean? And even if they saw it, would they understand it? I mean, what we know is that when a Christian reads the Bible, he's just reading words. But he can't identify with the people of the book. But we can, and that's what's giving us hope, that as we compare what we read here with what the prophets say, what the book of Revelation say, is going back to this covenant Yahweh made with our fathers that we would eventually be a holy nation and a kingdom of priests. We never knew that until Yahweh showed it to us. We would have never even guessed that. It never would have came into our mind. And it hadn't even, Christians don't even talk about it. They have like that ain't gonna never happen. As a matter of fact, they say the children of Israel don't exist no more. So all these words, what they're saying is these words are lies. Well, they ain't lies to us. Let's continue. Exodus 19, verse 9. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moshe told the words of the people unto Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Go unto the people, and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready against the third day. For the third day Yahweh will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. And thou shalt set bounds unto the people round about, saying, Take heed to yourselves, that you go not up into the mount, or touch the border of it. Whosoever touches the mount shall be surely put to death. Then there shall not be a hand touch it, but he shall surely be stoned or shot through, whether it be beast or man, it shall not live. When the trumpet soundeth long, they shall come up to the mount. And Moshe went down from the mount unto the people, and sanctified the people, and they washed their clothes. And he said unto the people, Be ready against the third day, come not at your wives. And it came to pass on the third day, in the morning, that there were thunders and lightnings and a thick cloud upon the mount, and the voice of the trumpet sound exceeding loud, so that all the people that was in the camp trembled. And Moshe brought forth the people out of the camp to meet with Elohim, and they stood at the nether part of the mount. And Mount Sinai was altogether on the smoke, because the Adonai descended upon it in fire, and the smoke thereof ascended as the smoke of a furnace, and the whole mount quaked greatly. And when the voice of the trumpet sounded long, and waxed louder and louder, Moshe spoke, and Elohim answered him by a voice. And Elohim came down upon the Mount Sinai, on the top of the mount, and Yahweh called Moshe up to the top of the mount, and Moshe went up. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Go down, charge the people, lest they break through unto Yahweh to gaze, and many of them perish. And let the priests also, which come near to Yahweh, sanctify themselves, lest Yahweh break forth upon them. And Moshe said unto Yahweh, The people cannot come up to Mount Sinai, but thou chargest us, saying, Set bounds upon the mount, about the mount, and sanctify it. And Yahweh said unto him, Away, get thee down, and thou shalt come up, thou and Aaron with thee, but let not the priests and the people break through to come up unto Yahweh, lest he break forth upon them. So who are these priests? The Levitical priesthood haven't been set up yet. There would be no need for a Levitical priesthood at this point.
Right.
So who are these priests?
Would be the head of the household?
The head of the household. Because the head of the household would be responsible for what goes on in the house, and plus he would be the one responsible for bringing those sacrifices up into Yahweh or to whatever God he worshipped. But it was all it's a patriarchy, right? And so being a patriarchy, that automatically makes a man the head of the household. And I mentioned that. I think I've mentioned that. Now I probably haven't mentioned it yet, but the patriarchy here in America is being destroyed, and they want to replace it with a matriarchy. And women, black women are headstrong about being a matriarchy because they like telling men what to do. But the men hate that. But we returning back to the patriarchy, and y'all, we get up out of here. Men will be men, women will be women. There ain't gonna be no women bossing men around this time. And you look at the fact that you're gonna have 7 women going to 1 man, and said we'll make our own clothes and cook our own food, but just let us take your name to take away our reproach. Now, at one time when I thought about that, I said these women are self-sufficient because they're letting the men know that you don't have to take care of us. We can take care of ourselves. Now you can advance that to today's women. Yeah, they're businessmen. They got all kinds of ways of making money. But when that comes around, how will the women make their own food, their own bread? Because there won't be no stores in the kingdom like that, like bread. So how will they make their own bread? How would they make their own clothes? Well, if you remember, as we continue to read, they had what they call meals. A grinding mill, they take the wheat and grind it up into a powder, wheat powder, and they add a little, let it ferment and put that dough inside the bread and let the bread rise. So they make their own bread. As far as clothing goes, they can make their own clothing too, because they know how to sew and use the loom and do all those things by hand that they used to go and buy out of the stores here in America. And that's gonna be something that got to be taught, because these women don't know how to do anything like that. They used to shop it. Let's pick this up in verse 25. So Moshe went down unto the people and spake unto them. Exodus 20 verse 1. And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh the Elohim, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh thy Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the 3rd and 4th generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy Elohim in vain, for Yahweh will not hold them guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of Yahweh thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the 7th day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. You notice it doesn't mention the wife,
Right.
doesn't mention the mother.
Right.
We mention everybody else but the wife and mother.
Is that because he looks at the man and the woman as one?
Yeah. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not steal. Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings, and the noise of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moshe, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. but let not Elohim speak with us lest we die. What they say that for? And Moshe said unto the people, fear not, for Elohim is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before you, before your faces, that you sin not. And the people stood afar off, and Moshe drew near unto the thick darkness where Elohim was. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, you have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. You shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall you make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings, and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen, in all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of hewn stone, for if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou hast polluted it. Neither shalt thou go up by thy steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon. Now it said Elohim came down in the smoke, right? But they didn't see him. But it said he came down. They heard his voice, but they didn't see the figure. Let's continue. Exodus 21, verse 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th he shall go out free from nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If his master have given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. Then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through with all, and he shall serve him forever. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. If she please not her master, who hath betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation he shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. And if he hath betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. It seems a little crude, but buying and selling people was not a big deal back in them days. So we're looking at an Israelite being a servant to another Israelite. Now apparently he had no choice but to be a servant, but he couldn't serve him more than 7 years. Then he got to let him go free. Whereas here in America, we would never let go free. But they didn't keep Yahweh's law either. So that's coming back. We're looking at buying and selling people. That's coming back. It's hard to believe, but the time that we'll be in at that time will not be the times that we were in before, when they were served with rigor. They were slaves with rigor. That was harsh slavery. This time they're going to want to be our slaves. They're going to want to be our servants. They're going to work our field. They want to do all things, so they don't want us to lift a hand to do nothing. Now that's strange, because right now we're used to doing things for ourselves. We're not used to people helping us. But they're going to be busting down the door and want to help us. So I don't know how we're going to take that, bro.
Good.
See, y'all ready.
What?
No, man, that's a psychological thing, man, because this is a stranger. Right? I don't know these people. Right? And I'm pretty sure they're pretty good workers because I've seen video of some of those Aborigines, not Aborigines, but native people building houses and fountains and pools with just 2 people. Now, see, I could use help like that. But we just have to wait and see. I mean, really, I have to worry about waking up in the morning. I can't look that far in the future.
Excuse me. You talking about where they build like huts and stuff?
But now,
Them 2 guys you was talking about? You said they was building like swimming pools and huts?
yeah, swimming pool, fountains, houses, storage barns, just 2 people. Of course, they speeded up the video, so you really don't know how long it took. But it was just 2 people doing that by themselves. These ain't no big dudes either.
They got busted.
Huh?
I saw them too a long time ago, and somebody busted them out. They didn't do them by themselves.
Oh, yeah, see, that's what I'm saying.
And I hate that. See, when somebody tell the truth about them.
Yeah, I know, but still,
Yeah, I like that.
yeah, even if they weren't by themselves, they still did a good job.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the place looking good. They cleared out the land, dug up places where they needed water to flow.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, they built a swimming pool, and they did a good job. So I'm looking at those type people. Now, white people, they got their qualities too. They can build roads and build buildings. I don't think they used to hard work though. Yeah, they. So we need. But, hey, you could probably use some people come from Asia somewhere, and we don't know what kind of people are. They are probably very good people, and they won't give you any trouble. Especially during those days when you're gonna be kings, they're gonna be busting down the door and be your servant. Yeah. Let's continue. Now, what we have here is a Hebrew servant can serve you more than 7 years. In the 7th year, he has to be let go, unless you want to stay with his master forever. And then we got the situation with the man that sells his daughter to be a handmaid, a maidservant. In verse 7, it says, if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants do. If she pleases not her master, who had betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. So, when a man sells his daughter, usually she's a virgin, he have to pay a dowry. And so we ought to look at that too. But it seems as though this man's daughter married this guy, but she's called a maidservant. Sarah was never called a maidservant, no Rebecca or Rachel or Leah. But here we have a law saying that if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, then the man that bought her must marry her. And then we're talking about putting her away too. So it's a little, we're not used to that, people selling their daughters to us. But that's the way things were back in them days. Like I said, it was a patriarchy. So women didn't mind leaving the house and staying with another man, being his wife. That was the main goal, have some children for the husband. And staying at home with the parents was probably not the best thing to do, so they wanted to get them girls out of the house right away. And some of the girls were ready to go too. Yeah, because they went, mom and them weren't getting along with them. My brothers and sisters fighting all the time. So they wanted their free like Rebecca. They asked her, do you want to go with this man? She probably looked at him like, really? You asked me that? I had a pitcher of water on my shoulder, watering people's camels, giving him water. You asking me, do I want to go with this man? Well, you ain't never met him. It don't matter. I'm ready to go. Yeah, plus you're bearing gifts and everything, putting bracelets on her and everything. So yeah, I want to go to this man here. You gonna say something?
I got a question, Elder. So if you didn't love that master, but you wanted your wife and your children, could you buy from that master?
Can she be redeemed?
Yeah.
Um,
And the children.
Yeah, with the redemption money, because we got a law that says if a slave woman is betrothed to another man, even though she's still a slave, the master ain't supposed to touch her. But if he lay with her, she has to be chastised. Whereas in other instances, it would have been adultery. But she was a slave woman, but she betrothed to another man. So all servants and slaves can be sold. So if a man want to buy his wife, he have to pay the money to buy his wife. But just like we did here in America. Because the slave would go out and get extra jobs and save up enough money to buy his family out of slavery. Master take his money. So that type of business arrangement is real old, but it's still prevalent. It was still prevalent during the time of slavery here, that a man could buy his family out of slavery. So I imagine they can do that here too. Now, again, if this man came with a wife and children to be his servant, he ain't got to worry about that, right? But if his master gave him a wife and children, then that wife would have to stay with her. Now, stay with him, right? So, when it comes to buying and selling, I imagine she would qualify to be bought by her husband. It doesn't mention that, but it did say in, let's see here, I picked verse 9 to 11, it says, and if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. And if he do not these three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. There's another option.
That's what the husband, all right?
No, this is the master.
Yeah. Okay.
This is the master here. Right? Because it says she should go out free without money, without being sold. Exodus 21 verse 12. He that smiteth a man so that he die shall be surely put to death. And if a man lie not in wait, but Elohim deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whether he shall free. Now see again, that sticks out. Well, Yahweh showing you that there's no accidents. I set that up. But he took a man's life to put another man in tribulation. Because look what it says here. He's going to appoint a place for him to flee from the avenger, the person he killed, even though it wasn't in his intention to kill. But that's a strange law, though. I mean, we got the same situation here where people kill unintentionally. But what do they call that? They don't call it homicide.
Manslaughter?
Huh?
Involuntary manslaughter?
Involuntary manslaughter. Right. Involuntary manslaughter. But you're still a convict. You're still going to court. You still got to go to jail. And your life is ruined. Because, but then again, Yahweh did that to her. Killed that man by accident, even though they were best friends. Yahweh set it up just like he's saying right here. I put that man in the hand to be killed, in the hand of another man to be killed, even though they were best friends. But he's gonna appoint a place for him to flee, so they can live that the family won't kill him. So it's a little adjustment, but if Yahweh is responsible for it, you can't blame him though. So Yahweh, you did that. You can't say that. So, but he said, yeah, I did do it.
Right.
So what are you gonna do? Blame Yahweh? You gonna take it to court? No. He's giving you his law. You obey his law. I mean, don't put that law on him. Exodus 21 verse 14. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, thou shalt take him from mine altar that he may die. Now, you got Yahweh doing something, but now you got man doing something presumptuously. So you can't say it's Yahweh doing that. Now the man doing it on his own. So who's making him do that? I have to say the devil. Right. So you got two forces going on here. Right? In one case, when one died, the man can live. But if he murdered somebody on his own, he got to die. All right? Seems fair. Verse 15. And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. And he that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death. Now that's something that's really needed, especially these days and time. These wild black people out here, man, cussing out their mother and doing all kinds of things and showing their lack of home training. But if they knew this law, they might not cuss their mother out. But they, I mean, this is not talking about profanity though. This is talking about wishing some harm on somebody, wishing they die. Right? So yeah, you can curse, you can use profanity, but it's not the same as cursing. But even that's disrespectful because the law says honor your father and your mother. You can't do that, cussing them out.
Well, that kind of stuck sometimes when you said it just now. That means it doesn't matter what the mother, the parent does to the child still has to honor.
Honor
Good
father,
or
mother.
bad.
Yep. Gotta respect them. Yeah, they're poor parents, but you can't wish death on them. Now, I remember when I went off to college, I came back home, I found out my brother and sister had ran away from home because of my mother. I did not know that. Because when I was there, I wasn't in a situation where I would get so frustrated, I got to leave and stay with my friend. But apparently she put that harshness on them. And I think my sister ran away once, and my brother ran away twice. So I don't know what my mother was doing to him, man. But I was away in college, so I missed all of that. But I felt bad about that, though, man. Because everything fine when I was there. But it must not have been so fine when I left. Yeah. So I don't know what happened, but they couldn't stand around her. Yeah. Exodus 21 verse 18. And if men strive together, and one smite another with a stone, or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. And if a man smite his servant or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished according as a woman's husband will lay upon him, and he shall pay as the judges determine. And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And if a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. What are you doing? Why would you want to knock your servant's eye out the socket? What did he do? Now you talk about these white folks being harsh on us. Man, I ain't never heard them do this. Did you see what we could do? If we had white folks out for our servant, man, they'd be marching on us all day long, protesting, saying we racist. I used to have two eyes. But that's racist black people. verse 27. And if he smite out his manservant tooth, or his maidservant tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. You hit your servant in the mouth and knock his teeth out. Now, granted, white folk might have did that to us too. But nevertheless, it's still a harsh life. Why would you volunteer for something like that unless you had no choice? Right? Plus, I'm pretty sure people probably heard about the man that knocked out his servant's eye and teeth. Probably won't go somewhere else. But that's our law, man. That's the kind of mindset our fathers had back in the day. They would beat a servant's ass, knock his eye out, knock his teeth out. It was kind of harsh. But that's the life of a servant. Yeah. What are you gonna do? You gotta eat. Yeah. Exodus 21, verse 28. And if an ox go a man or a woman that they die, then the ox shall be surely stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit. You understand what it says when it says quit? Mm-hmm. Okay, let's look at verse 19. It says, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. So that word quit means innocent. And that word quit in verse 28, it says, if an ox go a man or a woman that they die, then the ox shall be surely be stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be blameless. That's what that word quit means, blameless or innocent. But if the ox were known, and that word W-O-N-T, that it means known, to push with his horn in time past, and had been testified to his honor, and he had not kept him in, but that he had killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner also shall be put to death. If there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is paid laid upon him. Whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to the judgment shall it be done unto him. Now you can buy your life back, because you had an animal to kill somebody. So how can that be punished unless you pay for it? Because the animal don't want no better, just being an animal. But you're responsible for that animal. And you let that animal go and kill somebody, yeah, you got to pay for that, buddy.
And in verse 30 it say, if there be laid on him a sum of money. They
Mm-hmm.
don't necessarily have to go that way. So is it up to the family members of the one that got killed?
Well, they can't kill him because of the law. So what he can do is uh, pay the ransom for his life, because he's responsible for that ox. He let that ox kill somebody. The judgment is that he paid for the life that ox killed. Right. Verse 30, 31. Whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to this judgment shall be done unto him. Verse 32. If the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good, and give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his. And if one man's ox hurt another's, that he die, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it, and the dead ox also shall they shall divide. Or if it be known that the ox used to push in time past, and his owner have not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own. That's farm life. That's agricultural life. That's how justice was done back in them days. So again, these are our ways. Now, it's not going to be like that in the kingdom. I mean, it's not like. Well, let me say this: that women going to be looking for men, yeah, to marry. But we're going to be agricultural. We're going to be farmers and herdsmen and shepherds. And so this is the life of a shepherd people, people that herd cattle. And so we have to have laws concerning what you do when an ox hurts somebody. So we got that already. So we have to remember this because it's coming back. One thing I've always heard, that when it comes to a horse, you never come up behind him. You never come up behind him. You might not make it back. Yeah. So when you get your land, you get your animals, you let your servants handle them horses. They know what they're doing. You don't know nothing about no horse. Let's continue. Exodus 22, verse 1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. Now, do you understand those two laws there, verse 2 and 3? It says, if a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. What does that mean?
You better not be caught stealing that night.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the blood.
Sacrifice.
Yeah, it's a sacrifice. So I mean, they had those street lights back in the days, okay? So you found somebody in your house, you're going to knock the hell out of him. You didn't know who he was. It might have been your next door neighbor. But what is he doing in your house?
You heard about that news about that, on that subject?
Heard about what?
Some teenage boys broke in this white lady's house, I think. She shot and killed the boy. The mother is suing $2 million on a woman. She was protecting her house.
Has it gone to court yet?
They went to court, I don't know, but I saw there 2 days ago, you know, two boys ain't got nothing to do trying to break in this white lady's house. And she shot them. And she's getting sued $2 million. And the
Did it
parent
go to
of-
court?
in
It been to court yet?
I think,
Nah,
I
I ain't
don't think so. Based
Well,
on the news.
That's happened before. I think about 3 or 4 black boys tried to bust into this old white man's house. He shot the hell out of him. And the family sued the white man. Right? The judge tossed the suit. See, that man protecting his house. What your boy doing in his house?
Right.
Yeah, but what kind of people are you to sue somebody for protecting themselves from your child? If anybody need to be sued, it's you, because you raised that child, and this is the best you got. That he go and break in other people's houses and lose his life. What you upset about? That's the way you raised him, to break in people's houses. So if he had a shot and killed the white man, then you wouldn't have had a problem with it.
Right.
But the white man was ready for him. That's why I keep telling y'all, man, white folks is packing. They ready for y'all when y'all make that dumb mistake, come in that house. They sitting in an easy chair waiting on you to come in through that door. And you should see them boys trying to run away. Now one of them made it out. I mean, they take off running fast. You can't outrun no bullet. But what you gonna do, man? I mean, they got videotape of us doing these things. You don't see no videotape of white people doing this. It's just us. Why don't you stay in your own neighborhood? But that's why the world hates us. Now, no doubt, white folks do some dirt too, but you don't see them on the news. You don't see them on the internet. You don't see them on TikTok, or Facebook, any of those platforms. All you got is young black boys doing these things. So, like, looking at how women are raised, I was sitting behind Zach here a little while ago. He was looking at a video of a woman fighting a man.
That was 2 women.
Those are 2 women? I couldn't tell. Nah, they fought like men.
Man,
One of them looked like a man, I swear. Bro. The one in the dark
The
coat.
big one. Yeah.
I thought he was slanging her around, but she was handling him though. Handling her.
She got black eye.
Man, 2 women. I could not tell one of them was a woman. That's another story right there, bro. We'd be all that all day. I'll read verse 3 again. If the sun be risen upon him, Exodus 22 verse 3, if the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. Now we got the law in Leviticus chapter 6 of how that's supposed to work. Restitution. And it says, if he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. Right? So, I mean, that's fair. Where else are going to get the money? If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double. If a man shall cause a field or vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his beast, and shall feed in another man's field, of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution. If fire break out, and catching thorns, so that the stacks of corn are the standing corn. Let me read it again. If fire break out and catch in thorns, so that the stacks of grain are the standing grain, or the field, be consumed therewith, he that killeth the fire shall surely make restitution. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and to be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double. If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's goods. For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox, for ass, for sheep, or for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing which another challenges to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor. If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass, or an ox, or a sheep, or any beast, to keep, and it die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it, then shall an oath of Yahweh be between them both, that he have not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn. And if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof being not with it, he shall surely make it good. But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be an hired thing, it came to his hire. We're talking about business here, and sort of like an insurance on the thing that the animals that we have. Let's see here. Well, for instance, look at in verse 10, if a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass or an ox or a sheep or any beast to keep, and it die or be hurt or driven away, no man seeing it, then shall an oath of Yahweh be between them both. They had not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods, and the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good. So he just lost out on that one. But when you read in verse 2, it says, if a thief be found breaking up, and be smitten that he died, there shall no blood be shed for him. What it's saying is that, yeah, you the chosen people, you got my law, but you got some thieves among y'all too. And even in the commandments, it said, thou shalt not steal, right? The commandments say, thou shalt not commit adultery also, right? So he said that there because there were some people that did commit adultery or were thieves. He told them, don't you do that. I'm Yahweh. I'm telling you, don't ever do that, because you might have been doing that before, and nobody told you that was wrong. But now I'm telling you that's wrong. So common sense, yeah, people would say, well, you steal from somebody, that's not a good thing. That's common sense. But now you got it codified. Now you got it written down. Say, don't steal. So that's with any manner. But it shows that Yahweh had wickedness among his people, that they have to be told or commanded not to do certain things. Mm-hmm. So look at us now. Yeah, we're about the worst people in town because we refuse to keep Yahweh's law. Exodus 22, verse 16. And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed and lie with her, he shall surely endow her to be his wife. If a father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. So they had fornication back in the days too. Right, so Yahweh got that covered. Now we got a law that says what you do in case you're raped and you're a virgin. Now you got to marry her. But here the father has to be okay with the deal that his father, that the man that lay with his daughter, bust her virginity. Well, normally the father just let him go and have it, but he may not like the dude. But who gonna marry her now?
Right. He can't get a dowry no more for her, right?
No. Look at Tamar, that got raped, David's daughter. Yeah, half brother raped her.
Mm-hmm.
And she knows she's royalty, but now she ain't no more good. Because they always value a virgin above all the women around them. So that's their value. They're virgins. So this was a virgin here that some guy talked her out of her drawers. So, but he'll mess up everybody now. Mess up her life. Well, you got to wonder, did she fight? Or did she resist? Well, if she was young, then I'd have to put her kind of like these women today. These young girls, they're just curious to see what's really going on. Or this guy probably paid her some attention, like most women like attention. And so he know how to work her. And so he got him in a shot. But she was a virgin. But again, we got laws against those sort of type things. So that's a beautiful thing about us. It's not just like laws that against murder and stuff like that. We're talking about personal things, like we just read about here. Exodus 22, verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. So we had witches back in them days. Well, we had magicians, didn't we? Not among our people, but the Egyptians had magicians and witches. Apparently, we had witches among ourselves. So you ain't supposed to let them live at all. So they were practicing witchcraft. So that thing must have been real back in them days. Sorcery, necromancy, all that was real back in them days. But it was all of Satan. So we were forbidden not to do those things.
Big today.
Huh?
It's big today.
Yeah. I've been hearing some things about these black sisters, bro. They're off into witchcraft now. And that's kind of hard to believe. But then when I look back on my life, I say, yeah, they probably are into that.
Someone, yeah.
Praise God that I didn't stay there long enough to put a spell on me.
Yes,
Exodus 22, verse 19. Whosoever lieth for the beast shall surely be put to death. He that sacrifices unto any god, save unto Yahweh only, he shall be utterly destroyed. Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for you are strangers in the land of Egypt. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry, and my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him an creditor, neither shalt thou lay upon him interest. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. For that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin, wherein shall he sleep. And it shall come to pass when he crieth unto me, that I will hear, for I am gracious. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of the people. Now, do you have anything letting you know that word God not really what it means? It said, verse 28, thou shalt not revile the gods. What does it really say? Judges, magistrates. Yeah. Now I had to get that to the translators. Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the ruler of thy people. Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits and of thy liquors. The firstborn of thy sons shalt thou give unto me. Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam or with his mother. On the 8th day thou shalt give it me. And you shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall you eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. You shall cast it to the dogs. Exodus 23, verse 1. Thou shalt not raise a false report. Put not thine hand with the wicked to be an unrighteous witness. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak in a cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. Neither shalt thou countenance a poor man in his cause. If thou meet thine enemy's ox or his ass going astray, thou shalt surely bring it back to him again. If thou see the ass of him that hateth thee lying under his burden, and wouldst forbear to help him, thou shalt surely help with him. Thou shalt not wrest the judgment of thy poor in his cause. Keep thee far from a false matter, and the innocent and righteous slay thou not, for I will not justify the wicked. And thou shalt take no bride, for the bride blindeth the wise, and perverteth the words of the righteous. Also thou shalt not oppress a stranger, for you know that the heart of a stranger, seeing you were strange, for you know the heart of a stranger, seeing you were strangers in the land of Egypt. It's kind of hard to use that law in America because you don't want your family in danger with some of these strangers. But you gotta have faith that, yeah, you accept a stranger in your house, but Yahweh sent him there. Exodus 23, verse 10. In 6 years thou shalt sow thy land, and shalt gather in the fruits thereof. But the 7th year thou shalt let it rest and lie still, that the poor of the people may eat, and what they leave, the beasts of the field shall eat. In like manner thou shalt deal with thy vineyard and with thy olive yard. 6 days thou shalt do thy work, and on the 7th thou shalt rest, that thine ox and thine ass may rest, and the son of thy handmaid, and the stranger may be refreshed. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of the other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. 3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in a year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee in the time appointed of the month of Abib. For in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. In the feast of harvest, the first fruits of thy labor, which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. 3 times in a year all thy males shall appear before the Adonai Elohim. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning. The first of the first fruits of thy land thou shalt bring unto the house of Yahweh thy Elohim. Thou shalt not seethe the kid in his mother's milk. Now I don't know who, I guess that's what they used to do back in the day. I just can't see it today. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way, and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared. Beware of him, and obey his voice. Provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice, and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. For thine angels shall go before thee, and bring thee unto the Amorites, and the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works. But thou shalt utterly overthrow them, and quite break down their images. And you shall serve Yahweh your Elohim, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. There shall nothing cast thy young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before thee, and will destroy all the people to whom thou shalt come, and I will make all thine enemies turn their backs unto thee. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivites, and the Canaanites, and the Hittites from before thee. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. By little and little I will drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into thy hand, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. Thou shalt not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. For if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto thee. It says here in verse 31, and I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea, even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. Now, the boundary of the children of Israel is the Red Sea, not the Nile. That's what it's saying here. From the Red Sea to the sea of the Philistines, that's the Mediterranean. All the way to the river, that had to be the river Euphrates. But it says the river of Egypt. When you read about the boundaries of the children of Israel, it says the river of Egypt. So we just normally would say that must be the Nile River. But this is the Sea of Galilee, the Red Sea. But that a sea is not a river. So that boundary still has to be the Nile River, because this is talking about the Red Sea. This is a sea and not a river. Exodus 24, verse 1. And he said unto Moshe, come up unto Yahweh, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship you afar off. And Moshe alone shall come near Yahweh, but they shall not come near, neither shall the people go up with them. And Moshe came and told the people all the words of Yahweh, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which Yahweh have said will we do. And Moshe wrote all the words of Yahweh, and rose up early in the morning, and built an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. And Moshe took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And they took the book of the covenant and read it in the audience of the people, and they said, all that Yahweh hath said will we do, and be obedient. And Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold the blood of the covenant which Yahweh hath made with you concerning all these words. in verse 5, it says, and he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offer burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of oxen unto Yahweh. That was before they got the law of what they're supposed to sacrifice unto Yahweh. So I'm looking at that. That must have been a common thing back in these days. Even with the people that did not worship Yahweh, they worship other gods, they still made those sacrifices. And so this might have been out of tradition, just offering up sacrifice. Like for instance, whenever Yahweh would say something to Abraham, Abraham would build an altar, right? Same thing with Yaakov, he built an altar. And so it didn't mention that they made sacrifice, but what you build an altar for if one was sacrificed to. And Yahweh said, you build an altar and offer up sacrifice, I will appear unto you, right? So sacrifice was a big thing back in the day. Again, with all of the nations that were in the area, they always sacrificed to their gods. So it's a tradition. But who makes sacrifices today? They don't make sacrifices today. There's no need to right now. But what we just read about here, those sacrifices are coming back. So we don't know how that's going to work, except for reading Ezekiel. But the Mashiach will be on the scene, right? So you can still be making those sacrifices to entreat Yahweh. So I'm looking at how we're going to work that Day of Atonement out, because you're going to have the Holy of Holies in that new temple. So I guess you have to just wait and see. Because we got to keep the Mashiach law and do it according to what he says is right, and his law does not conflict with Yahweh's law. Probably a different way of doing it. Oh yeah. You notice it said he took the blood and sprinkled it on the people. Isn't that what Mashiach said when he had his last Passover with his disciples? He said, "This bread is my body, eat it, and the blood is the blood of the New Testament, New Covenant shed for you." So that had to be the sealing of that covenant, like it was back in these days, and so the covenant has been sealed. So whoever's under that covenant that the Mashiach made, they will be in the kingdom during 1,000 years and even after that, because the covenant of the blood has been shed for the covenant. So that was a way of sealing an agreement with blood. Exodus 24 verse 9. Then went up Moshe and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and they saw the Elohim of Israel, and there was under his feet as it were a paved work of sapphire stone, and it was, and as it were, the body of heaven in its clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel he laid not his hand. Also they saw Elohim and did eat and drink. This is what we would call a wedding feast. That wedding feast just so happened to be the Feast of Weeks. The time there, because about 3 months after they came out of Egypt. And so we're looking at, even though the Feast of Weeks hadn't been given to them yet, nevertheless, it's not coincidence that it just so happened that it came 7 weeks after they came out of Egypt. They came out of Egypt on the Feast of Unleavened Bread, right? So this is close to that Feast of Weeks, but it's still a wedding feast. But the strange thing about it said that they saw the God of Israel. How you gonna see the God of Israel? You can't see him, but what did they see? They saw an angel, right? But still though, that's saying something in and of itself. Because look how they described it in verse 10. And they saw the Elohim of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of a sapphire stone, and as it were, the body of heaven in his clearness. So this is an angel, but it's a very unusual angel. That he sat down with them and he didn't kill them. Because you're not supposed to be sitting with a God. But our Father, that's the blessing that our Father had, that they actually sat down and ate with a heavenly being. And they lived to tell about it.
That's a beautiful covenant Yahweh made with his people, with that blood, because blood is the life of all things. So that means that covenant is forever.
Right. It's life.
Yeah.
Right. So it sealed it with life, so that it would always be there. Exodus 24, verse 13. No, verse 12. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, come up to me into the mount, and be there. And I will give thee tables of stone, and a law, and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moshe rose up, and his minister Joshua, and Moshe went up into the mount of Elohim. And he said unto the elders, tarry you here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moshe went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount, and the glory of Yahweh abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And the seventh day he called unto Moshe out of the midst of the cloud, and the sight of the glory of Yahweh was like devouring fire on top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moshe went into the midst of the mount, and got him into the mount, got him up into the mount, and Moshe was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. Now, you would think that after seeing all that, seeing how close Yahweh and Moshe were, Yahweh's only speaking to Moshe, that they would respect Moshe. No, what have you done for me lately? That's the attitude. Yeah, we know you and Yahweh tight, but yeah, we still can see you. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, Exodus 25, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moshe, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, that they bring me an offering. Of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart, he shall take my offering. And this is the offering which you shall take of them: gold and silver and brass, and blue and purple and scarlet, and fine linen and goat's hair, and ram skin dyed red, and antelope skins, and shittim wood, all for the light, spices for anointing oil, and sweet incense, onyx stones, and stones to be set in the ephod and in the breastplate. And let them make me a sanctuary, that I may dwell among them, according to all that I show thee, after the pattern of the tabernacle, and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall you make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood, 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, within and without shalt thou overlay it, and shalt make upon it a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt cast 4 rings of gold for it, and put them in the 4 corners thereof, and 2 rings shall be in one side of it, and 2 rings in the other side of it. And thou shalt make staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold. And thou shalt put the staves into the rings by the sides of the ark, that the ark may be borne with them. And the staves shall be in the rings of the ark; they shall not be taken from it. And thou shalt put into the ark the testimony which I shall give thee. And thou shalt make a mercy seat of pure gold. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof. And thou shalt make 2 cherubims of gold, of beaten work shall I make them in the 2 ends of the mercy seat. And make 1 cherub on the one side, on the one end, and the other cherub on the other end. Even of the mercy seat shall you make the cherubims on the 2 ends thereof. And the cherubim shall stretch forth their wings on high, and covering the mercy seat with their wings, and their faces shall look one to another. Toward the mercy seat shall the faces of the cherubims be. And thou shalt put the mercy seat above upon the ark, and in the ark thou shalt put the testimony that I shall give thee. And that I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the 2 cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony of all things which I will give thee in the commandment unto the children of Israel. Thou shalt also make a table of shittim wood. 2 cubits shall be the length thereof, and 1 cubit the breadth thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold, and make therein a crown of gold round about. And thou shalt make unto it a border of a hand's breadth round about, and thou shalt make a golden crown to the border thereof round about. And thou shalt make for it 4 rings of gold, and put the rings in the 4 corners thereof on the 4 feet thereof. Over against the border shall the rings be for places for the staves to bear the table. And thou shalt make the staves of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, that the table may be borne with them. And thou shalt make the dishes thereof, and the spoons thereof, and covers thereof, and the bowls thereof, to cover withal, of pure gold shalt thou make them. And thou shalt set upon the table showbread before me daily. And thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold. Of beaten work shall the candlestick be made. His shaft, and his branches, and the bowls, and his bowls, his knops, and his flowers shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches on the candlestick out of the one side, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knot and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like unto almonds in the other branch, with a knot and a flower. So in the 6 branches that come out of the candlestick, and in the candlestick shall be 4 bowls made like unto almonds, with their knots and their flowers. And there shall be a knot on the 2 branches of the same, and a knot on the 2 branches of the same, and a knot on the 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the candlestick. Their knots and their branches shall be of the same. All of it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. And thou shalt make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it. And the tongs thereof, and the snuff dishes thereof, shall be of pure gold. Of a talent of pure gold shall he make it with these vessels, and look that thou make them after their pattern, which was showed thee in the mount. Moreover, Exodus 26 verse 1. Moreover, thou shalt make the tabernacle with 10 curtains of fine twined linen, and blue, and purple, and scarlet, with cherubims of cunning work shall thou make them. The length of one curtain shall be 28 cubits, and the breadth and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and every one of the curtains shall have one measure. The 5 curtains shall be coupled together one to another, and other 5 curtains shall be coupled one to another. And thou shalt make loops of blue upon the edge of the one curtain from the selvage in the coupling, and likewise shalt thou make it in the uttermost edge of another curtain in the coupling of the second. 50 loops shalt thou make in the one curtain, and 50 loops shalt thou make in the edge of the curtain that is in the coupling of the second, that the loops may take hold one to another. And thou shalt make 50 taches of gold, and couple the curtains together with the taches, and they shall be one tabernacle. So if you want to see what all this looks like, I got a lot to read here, but if you want to see what all this looks like, Google it. Google the tabernacle of the wilderness, and it'll give you the whole picture of what we're talking about here. We read it verse by verse, telling them what to do, but it's all put together. These white people don't already put that thing together to see what it looks like. Exodus 26, verse 7. And thou shalt make curtains of goat's hair to be a covering upon the tabernacle. 11 curtains shalt thou make. The length of the one curtain shall be 30 cubits, and the breadth of one curtain 4 cubits, and 11 curtains shall be all of one measure. And thou shalt couple 5 curtains by themselves, and 6 curtains by themselves, and shall double the 6th curtain in the forefront of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make 50 loops on the edge of the one curtain that is outmost in the covering, 50 loops in the edge of the curtain which coupleth the second. And thou shalt make 50 taches of brass, and put the taches into the loops, and couple the tent together, that it may be one. And the remnant that remaineth of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remaineth, shall hang over the backside of the tabernacle, and a cubit on the one side, and a cubit on the other side of that which remaineth in the length of the curtains of the tent. It shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side to cover it. And thou shalt make a covering for the tent of ram skin dyed red, and a covering above the antelope skin. And thou shalt make boards for the tabernacle of shittim wood standing up. 10 cubits shall be the length of a board, and a cubit and a half shall be the breadth of one board. 2 tenons shall there be in one board, set in order one against another. This shalt thou make for all the boards of the tabernacle. And thou shalt make the boards for the tabernacle, 20 boards on one side, on the south side, southward. And thou shalt make 40 sockets of silver under the 20 boards, 2 sockets on the one board for his 2 tenons, and 2 sockets on another board for his 2 tenons. And for the second side of the tabernacle, on the north side there shall be 20 boards, and there are 40 sockets of silver, 2 sockets on the one board, and 2 sockets on another board. And for the sides of the tabernacle westward, thou shalt make 6 boards. And 2 boards shalt thou make for the corners of the tabernacle in the 2 sides. And they shall be coupled together beneath, and they shall be coupled together above the head of it unto one ring. Thus shall it be for them both. They shall be for the 2 corners. And they shall be 8 boards, and their sockets of silver, 16 sockets, 2 sockets on the one board, and 2 sockets on another board. And thou shalt make bars of shittim wood, 5 for the boards of the one side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the other side of the tabernacle, and 5 bars for the boards of the side of the tabernacle for the two sides westward. And the middle bar in the midst of the boards which shall reach from end to end. And thou shalt overlay the boards with gold, and make their rings of gold for places for the bars, and thou shalt overlay the bars with gold. And thou shalt rear up the tabernacle according to the fashion thereof, which is showed thee in the mount. And thou shalt make a veil of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen of fine work, with cherubims shall it be made. And thou shalt hang it upon 4 pillars of shittim wood, overlaid with gold. The hook shall be of gold, upon the 4 sockets of silver. And thou shalt hang up the veil under the torches, that thou mayest bring in thither within the veil the ark of the testimony, and the veil shall divide unto you, between the holy place and the most holy. And thou shalt put the mercy seat upon the ark of the testimony in the most holy place. And thou shalt set the table without the veil, and the candlestick over against the table on the side of the tabernacle toward the south. And thou shalt put the table on the north side. And thou shalt make a hanging for the door of the tent of blue and purple and scarlet and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework. And thou shalt make for the hanging 5 pillars of shittim wood, and overlay them with gold, and their hooks shall be of gold. And thou shalt cast 5 sockets of brass for them. Let's see here. Let me see. Yeah, I think we can make it. Exodus 27, verse 1. And thou shalt make an altar. You see how Yahweh's house is starting to look? That is the best looking house in town. Got gold everywhere. Exodus 27, verse 1. And thou shalt make an altar of shittim wood, 5 cubits long and 5 cubits broad. The altar shall be 4 square, and the height thereof shall be 3 cubits. And thou shalt make the horns of it upon the 4 corners thereof. His horns shall be of the same, and thou shalt overlay it with brass. And thou shalt make his pans to receive his ashes, and his shovels, and his basins, and his flesh hooks, and his fire pans. All the vessels thereof thou shalt make of brass. And thou shalt make for it a great network of brass, and upon the net shalt thou make 4 brazen rings in the 4 corners thereof. And thou shalt put it under the compass of the altar beneath, that the net may be even to the midst of the altar. And thou shalt make stays for the altar, stays of shittim wood, and overlay them with brass. And the stays shall be put into the rings, and the stays shall be upon the 2 sides of the altar to bear it. Hollow with boards shall I make it, as it was showed thee in the mount, so shall they make it. And thou shalt make the court of the tabernacle. For the south side southward there shall be hangings for the court of 5 twined linen, of 100 cubits long, for one side. And the 20 pillars thereof, and the 20 sockets shall be of brass. The hooks of the pillars and the fillets shall be of silver. And likewise for the north side, in the length there shall be hangings of 100 cubits long, and its 20 pillars, and their 20 sockets of brass, the hooks of the pillars, and their fillets of silver. And for the breadth of the court on the west side shall be hangings of 50 cubits, their pillars 10, and their sockets 10. And the breadth of the court on the east side, eastward, shall be 50 cubits. And hanging of one side of the gate shall be 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And on the other side shall be hangings 15 cubits, their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. And for the gate of the court shall be a hanging of 20 cubits of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen, wrought with needlework, and their pillars shall be 4, and their sockets 4. All the pillars round about the court shall be filled with silver. Their hooks shall be of silver, and their sockets of brass. The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the breadth 50 everywhere, and the height 5 cubits of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. All the vessels of the tabernacle, and all the service thereof, and all the pins thereof, and all the pins of the court shall be of brass. And thou shalt command the children of Israel that they bring thee pure olive oil, beaten for the light, to cause the lamp to burn always. In the tabernacle of the congregation without the veil, which is before the testimony, Aaron and his sons shall order it from evening to morning before Yahweh. It shall be a statute forever unto their generations, on behalf of the children of Israel. Let's see here. Yeah, I think I'll stop here. Do we have any questions before we dismiss? Now, what we're talking about is building Yahweh's house on earth. The creator of heaven and earth has a house on earth, and it's among only one people, the children of Israel. White people run around at that time. But you listen to them talk, they're God's people too. Yeah, right. Now, he didn't do this with y'all. Y'all had angels representing him. When the last time y'all white people seen an angel? Unless you painted them. No, sorry, white folk. Yeah, I know you want to be the chosen people, but you can be allowed in the kingdom. All right, you'll be there, and don't worry about that. The doors of eternal life has been opened unto you too. But as far as the children of Israel go, in that city, Jerusalem, it's going to be 12 gates. And all over the 12 tribes, put the name of the 12 tribes of Israel on them. So, hey, what do you want to do? All right, well, let's see what's cooking on chat. All right, come back here. I have Elder Tobiah on Facebook. Shalom, Elder Tobiah. Shalom, Brother Mickey Anderson. Shalom, Morning Crisp. Shalom, Esher Yasharala. Shalom, Sister Neriah. Shalom, Maya Elder. Shalom, Clarence Marks and Sister Yulita. Shalom, Susie Garman. Shalom, Rhodesia Williams. Shalom, Brother Ahaya Yehuda ben Israel. Shalom, Brother Gregory Rucker. Shalom, Brother Eliyahu ben Israel. Shalom, Sister Melinda Curry. Shalom, Brother Alahayim, Elder Alahayim, Ben Yasharala, and Mother Malaka, Ben Yasharala. Shalom, Repentant Judah. Shalom, Brother Adrian Davis out there on the West Coast. Shalom, Brother Kevin Burtz. Shalom, Sister Amelia Pennington. Shalom, Elder Hiram. Shalom, Elder Mick. Shalom, Elwin. Shalom, MSC. Shalom, Brother Kevin Berg. Shalom, Elder and brothers and sisters. The question that was just asked by Deacon Zach, and then the answer that you gave, Elder, about how a brother can do a certain murder, I was just thinking about when Moshe killed that Egyptian. Did Elohim, did God lead this because the two Hebrew brothers were about to fight, or was Satan involved in this? No, Satan wasn't involved in that. What Yahweh is doing is introducing you to your father to see what kind of people your fathers were. They didn't get along with one another, so they're in the middle of the street fighting. So don't we do that today? So Moshe just wanted to break it up. I said, what y'all fighting for? Right? So it didn't have nothing to do with Satan. You look at black people, the way they act today, they act the same way the people of the Bible. So you can't say Satan. Well, if you don't keep Yahweh's law, you don't have any protection from Satan. And so those two Hebrew brothers wrestling out there fighting each other, they hadn't been keeping Yahweh's law because they hadn't been given it. So you can look at it that way. It's easy for your flesh to be tempted to do something wrong. And so Moshe was there just to break it up, show you what kind of spirit he had. He's a meek and humble spirit. So why y'all fighting? Y'all brothers. Now, when it comes to murder, yeah, there's no sacrifice for murder. If a person murdered someone, yeah, he got to be killed. I was just thinking about when Moshe killed that Egyptian. Well, if you look at the law concerning murder, it didn't mention anyone outside the children of Israel. So I'm not saying that you can go out and murder anybody else, but those laws are for the children of Israel. Thou shalt not commit any murder. It was just given to us. So Yahweh, now we look at that as the way Moshe killed that Egyptian. That was murder, because he looked one way and looked the other, make sure that nobody see him, and he killed him and buried him out there in the sand. So now, yeah, that was murder, but Yahweh hadn't given us law concerning murder to the people yet. And plus, it didn't matter what he was doing before Yahweh called him. It doesn't matter what anybody was doing before Yahweh called him. If he wants to, he ain't going to look at, well, I'm going to hold back from it because you killed somebody. Well, what makes you think Yahweh cared about them Egyptians? He's cared about his people. So, and besides that, that Egyptian that he killed might have been a firstborn. And so when you look at the last plague that Yahweh put on the Egyptians, they might have gonna die anyway. Let's see here. Now they hadn't. Yeah, it didn't matter to Yahweh that he killed that Egyptian. Shalom, Angeline Rowe. I have another question. This is my last question. Yeah, right. Well, you just spoke about when a man strike a woman and she lose her child in this. Yes, she's carrying. What about when they perform abortions? How is God looking at that with the woman that's doing the abortion and the doctor that is performing it? Well, now you're talking about judgment. And that's all in Yahweh's hand. I can't tell you how Yahweh going to judge these people, because Yahweh have mercy upon whom he will have mercy. So Yeah, it's taken a life, but Moshe just took a life. So Yahweh have mercy upon whom I can't answer for Yahweh. Shalom, brother Ukal.
Elder. Praise y'all. Get out today.
Are you home, man?
Yeah.
He's home? Okay. Shalom, brother Cephas. See, Shalom, elder brothers and sisters. I have one more question. No, it's never one more. This is my last. It's never one more. I've heard that so many times. That's my last question. No, even up in the pulpit, I said. In conclusion, I got one more place to go. We'll be there another hour. That's just bothering me to ask the question is when a man is married to a woman, should they use birth control and condoms? No, back in these days, they wanted children, so they wouldn't try to find a way not to have children. So at the time that the law was given, yeah, the woman wanted to have children for the man, and the man wanted to have sons that he can pass his inheritance to. So the thought of not having children that way never came to our father's mind. Now today, that's between you and your wife. If you want to do that, and that's some person, because you still one flesh. If you both agree to it, that's fine. If one don't agree to it, then y'all got to work that out. But you still husband and wife, and I don't get involved with husbands and wives. Shalom, brother Hodiah. Shalom, Sister Navah. Shalom, Avisha Judah. Shalom, Neil the P. Shalom, Ezra ben Israel. Shalom, brother David. Shalom, brother Ezra Elder. When we read where Yahweh said he will send his angel before them and not to provoke him because my name is in him, is this why the angel at the burning bush referred to himself as Yahweh? Yeah, he had the authority to say that it was Yahweh, because you're never going to see Yahweh. What you're going to see are these angels representing Yahweh. And it just so happens we recognize who the angel of the burning bush turned out to be. That was Michael, the captain of Yahweh's armies. That was Michael, because he said the same thing to Joshua. He told Moshe on Mount Horeb to take off your shoes because the ground you're standing on is holy ground. Well, he said that also in Joshua. And he said, I'm the captain of Yahweh's host. And so Joshua said, well, what can I do? What can your servant do for you? He said, first of all, take your shoes off, because the ground you're standing on is holy ground. And so that was, again, the angels have authority to say that they are Yahweh. Because you look at Exodus chapter 3, and Moshe said to the angel of the burning bush, when I go to the children of Israel and tell them that the God of their fathers came and have come unto us, what they're going to ask what his name is, right? And so the angel of the burning bush said to tell them, I am that I am, right? I am has sent you unto. So the angel was telling them that that's my name, right? But that was an angel saying that, because again, you're never going to see Yahweh. You're going to see who represents Yahweh. But yeah, that's who the angels. You got some angels that are more powerful than other angels, and so this is one of them. Shalom, Sister Rachel by Israel. Shalom, Tamika Woodears. Shalom, Brother Mickey Elder. When Yahshua went to Heidi's 1 Peter chapter 3 and 18 to 20, was that the same place like Abraham bosom, the two different sides, where the poor man was and where the rich man was? Because I don't think it was a lake of fire. And explain 1 Peter 4 and 6, a preacher was trying to talk like he went to the lake of fire, to preach, and I thought he went to conquer death and make the path to eternal life. But you got a lot of things up in there. That's 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 18 to verse 20. It says, for the Mashiach also had once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to Elohim, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Elohim waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was preparing, wherein few, that is, 8 souls were saved by water. And so the question is, who's hiding?
Does he mean Hades?
Hades?
Is that what he means?
Is that what he's talking about, Hades?
It looks like.
Well, that's a good guess. It looked like Hades. Okay, Yahshua went to Hades, 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 18 to 20. Was that the same place like Abraham's bosom, the two different sides where the poor man was and where the rich man was? Because I don't think it was the lake of fire. And explain 1 Peter 4 and 6. Now, let's get back to what you were saying here. 18 to 20, was that the lake of fire? Was that the same place like Abraham's bosom? The two different sides where the poor man was and where the rich man was. Because I don't think it was a lake of fire. Okay, yeah, and what we have in chapter 3, verse 18 to verse 20, that wasn't a lake of fire. And in Luke chapter 16, when you had the story of Lazarus and Abraham, Lazarus was a poor man and the rich man was rich, and Lazarus died and the rich man died, but the rich man was thrown into the lake of fire. And Lazarus was in the bosom of Abraham. But to understand what the word bosom means, it's a favorite place to be in somebody's company. It's not really laying there in the bosom. So that's where our father thought back in the days. But he was giving you an example, the Mashiach, that was in the form of a parable. But it had more realism in that form than the rest of his parables. Because he does mention the rich man suffering in the lake of fire, and that is actually going to happen when people are thrown in that last day of judgment. People are going to be thrown into the lake of fire. You're going to be tormented there forever. And so when he reads up here in 1 Peter 3, verse 18, it says, for the Messiah also had once suffered for the sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to Elohim, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached into the spirits in prison, which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Elohim waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was preparing, wherein few, that is, 8 souls, were served by water. Now, he can't compare that to the lake of fire. Because when he said that he preached to the spirits in prison, he's not talking about physical prison. For instance, the Mashiach told the people, the Jews that believed in him, he told them, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Well, these people don't know the truth. And so they're not free. So he's speaking to the spirits that are in prison. He's speaking to the spirits, not the people, but the spirits. Now, if you go up into Isaiah 42. Look at what it says here about what's going to happen to those people. In Isaiah 42, look at what it says here. I'm going to read verse 1 to verse 7. Behold my servant whom I uphold, mine elect in whom my soul delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him. He shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not cry, nor lift up, nor cause his voice to be heard in the street. A bruised reed shall he not break, and the smoking flax shall he not quench. He shall bring forth judgment unto truth. He shall not fail, nor be discouraged, till he have set judgment in the earth, and the owl shall wait for his law. Thus saith Yahweh Elohim, he that created the heavens and the earth, and stretched them out. He that created the heavens and stretched them out. He that spread forth the earth, and that which cometh out of it. He that giveth breath unto the people upon it, and spirit to them that walk therein. I, Yahweh, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand, and will keep thee, and give thee for a covenant of the people, and for a light of the Gentiles, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisons from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison houses. That is not only talking about a physical prison, but a spiritual prison. And one of the prisons that we have that have all of Yahweh's people in prison is Christianity. So that is taking the word prison to another level, because it says the same thing in verse 7 of Isaiah 42, to open the blind eyes, to bring out the prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison houses. Again, black people are in darkness because they don't know who they are. And so we go back to 1 Peter chapter 3 and read that verse again, verse 18 to verse 20. It says, for the Mashiach also have once suffered for sins, the just for the unjust, that he might bring us to Elohim, being put to death in the flesh, but quickened by the Spirit, by which also he went and preached unto the spirits in prison, not to the flesh, to the spirits, which sometimes were disobedient. Now that can't be the lake of fire, because it said they were sometimes disobedient. And so the people in the lake of fire, it's no hope for them. They've been disobedient. They broke Yahweh's law. So this is not talking about the lake of fire, which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Elohim waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was preparing, or in few, that is, 8 souls were saved by water. So it took 100 years to build that ark, and Yahweh was patient with mankind, but mankind would never repent. So he just saved Noah and his family. So we got the same thing here in 1 Peter chapter 3 and verse 20, which sometimes were disobedient, when once the long suffering of Elohim waited in the days of Noah, while the ark was preparing, where in few that is 8 souls were saved by water. So those 3 verses don't have anything to do with the lake of fire. But the parable, I hate calling it a parable because it's more about truth than a parable, but it's spoken in a parable way, in the form of a parable. But that is the actual lake of fire there. And that rich man, you can't say that he was sometimes disobedient like we got here in 1 Peter chapter 3. So this man being obedient would not, because the law says to open up your hands wide to your poor brother. And this man ate and didn't get that Lazarus a crumb to eat in. And so, yeah, he thrown into the lake of fire. So you can't say he was sometimes disobedient.
You know, Elder, he's, like he was saying, I heard this in the Christian church too, that when Christ died, he went to hell to preach to the people that's I guess, they say hell.
Went to the grave, hell.
And they use
went to hell, actual hell.
Yeah, and preached to, because they use 1 Peter 4 and 6.
4 and 6. For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to the Elohim in the spirit. Did he mention that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's look at a couple of verses before that. In verse 3, it says, "For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles, when we walk in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings and banquetings, and abominable idolatries, when they think it strange that you run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you, who shall give account of to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead. For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead." Now, that the way the phrase of it is incorrect. Right? That's what's throwing people off. It says, "For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are now dead." Okay, that was where that supposed to be read, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to the Elohim in the spirit. How can you judge somebody that's already dead? So he was speaking, the translator didn't translate it the way it should have been read. It said that are now dead. So they would preach these things while they were still alive, but now they're dead. So that was what that was talking about in 1 Peter chapter 4:6. A preacher was trying to talk like he went to the lake of fire to preach, and I thought he went to conquer death and make the path to eternal life. Yeah, well, that's a Christian preacher, so yeah, they don't know to do a little research on that particular verse. He didn't go to hell. Now, what did Meshach going to hell for?
It's unclean, man.
Yeah. That was okay. That was basically the last one, wasn't it?
Yep.
Shalom, brother Allah. Hayim, praise Yah. Okay, well, one more thing before we dismiss. We got some bad news today. One of our members has passed, Mother Hannah, by Israel, and our hearts are broken over it. In case some of you might be members of our congregation, you know who I'm talking about. So wish her family some condolences. And we don't know, like I say, she just passed today. We don't know what the funeral arrangement's going to be or what's going to happen from now on. I talked to Sister Melissa today, and she said she was sit in with the family and offer her condolences also. But our hearts are broken because she was a beautiful mother. And I love to hear her thick Jamaican accent.
Yep.
she sure was from Jamaica. But we praise Yahweh for that. Yahweh sent her to us, and she got baptized, and Yahweh will see her again. I'm going to go ahead and shut it down, Facebook and YouTube. Thank y'all for joining us. Join the sisters class. It's coming 5th day, which is Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. And we have a Sabbath service. This coming 7th day at 1 o'clock. And when is your new moon?
First day.
This coming first day, we got a new moon service. So we got a pretty busy week this week. So again, thank you, Facebook. Thank you, YouTube.